November 29th, 2024, last year, I purchased a Team Group Vulcan Alpha DDR5 RAM kit, two 32 gigabyte sticks at 6,000 hertz. And it cost me, with tax, $165.86 from Amazon. That same kit today costs $730. And that is a 3.4x price increase. Actually, no, I lied. That is a 4.4 times increase. Hey everybody, my name is Lance, and I'm here on Let's Be Serious Seriously. And today we're going to be real dead serious about these RAM prices. However, I'm sure, you probably heard the news. RAM prices have gone through the roof. And what I want to talk about here today is what can we do about it? It's probably not going to be what you think. I don't really have a secret code or some black market you can visit to try and get these things for cheap. Honestly, I got some thoughts on this and some ideas how you might be able to get through what's going on right now, because I don't think it's going to change. And spoiler alert, I really do think it's going to get worse long before it gets better. I'm not really a news channel. I'm more of like an introspective kind of a deep diving into like writing for games and concepts and things like that. It's where my passion lies. But I do like to talk about these sort of things from time to time and kind of give my 2 cents and try to look at it from another angle, an introspective look. So, get to the point. Long story short, basically, RAM companies, as of right now, the big one is Micron, which is the parent company to Crucial, the Crucial brand of RAM, has decided to stop selling to the public and just sell to the AI industry. Which means that, in consequence, that RAM prices have gone through the roof. At least that's the short-term effect, is that RAM prices have gone through the roof. The long-term effect, I'm going to be honest, I don't know what it is. However, this is not going to be the only thing to be affected in the near future. Everything that's happening with AI right now is causing this massive shift in resources. I would give my opinion on that, but that's not the focus of this video here. The focus is, what can you do? Because honestly, gaming it is overpriced. A majority of people cannot afford to buy the hardware, participate in the gaming industry. It used to be a cheap hobby, but it no longer is. Consoles are kind of like the last line of affordability for the modern gaming, right? So, I'm looking at Best Buy here. We have the PlayStation 5 1 terabyte Fortnite edition for $450. It says it's on sale from $550. While the Xbox Series X, the 1 terabyte console, is $650. And while things like the Raspberry Pi 5 can range from $145 for the base 16 gigabyte board to $240 with their 128 gigabyte starter kit. And this is all at a time where trying to make burgers on a Friday night, getting all the ingredients and everything will probably easily cost you $50 to $60, right? So question is, what do we do about it? Because personally, I have a 3090 in the computer I have right now. And if my 3090 went out right now, I don't think I could replace it because things have gone up that much. When I bought my 3090, I got this 3090 for $500. It was used, but still. I shopped around, I found a good deal, and I talked to a guy and we negotiated, and I bought it off him for $500. Deals like that are getting harder and harder to find because everything is getting to the wire. So again, going back to the question, what do we do about it? If you can afford to build the computer you want right now, my advice would be to do it right now. Because this doesn't get better. I believe this only gets worse. We all saw what happened with the crypto, right? And everyone trying to mine for it. Graphics cards went through the roofs. $500 used to get you a top of the line graphics card. Not anymore, right? And it's only gotten worse since then. However, if you're someone who does not have the means to buy the PlayStation 5, to buy the Xbox Series X, or build yourself, AM5 socket computer, the most recent socket set for AMD chips to play the newest games at decent frame rates. What I think you need to do, what we all need to start doing, honestly, is change our mind frame into how we see gaming. I remember as a kid, I played Warcraft 3 originally on a school computer I got for free. And I didn't even, frame rates didn't mean much to me back then. I knew it was choppy, but I played it, I probably got 15, 20 frames a second on that thing. But I had a good time. So let me ask you this. When's the last time you played a couch co-op? I don't know, Ninja Turtles, Turtles Through Time, something like that with a friend. When's the last time you made yourself a cup of hot tea on a rainy day and just started and picked up a Final Fantasy you never played, Maybe a Final Fantasy. When's the last time you booted up Legends of Gaia for the SNES, and just played it through? I really think this is the mindset we need to start taking. We've let all these influences take gaming to a place it shouldn't have gone to. All the streamers, I'm looking at Arc Raiders right now, a game I thoroughly enjoyed. I really enjoy the PvP, all of it. I see these streamers, first weekend, they get on there and say, oh, well, I went through the content, there's not enough content. And, I'm 6 weeks into the game and I have not hit max level yet. But that's the standard we set everything to. It doesn't need to be like that. And you can still be competitive, you can still trash talk. You know what? Better example, Sparking Zero. I hear this game getting so much flack because of how unbalanced it is and how everyone approaches it. I haven't played Sparking Zero online, a multiplayer match, once. I play with a group of friends. We all have these arbitrary rules, right? Hey, we keep the game. We keep the game in a common area. So no one can overplay it and get better than everyone else, right? You need to practice when you're playing with other people. And, we have it where you can't, you don't just pick Brawly against Kid Goku. It doesn't happen. We say, hey, we're picking Dragon Ball characters. We're going to pick, D-list characters. Oh, hey, we're going to set the max points to 4. When's the last time you've done that? We are not going to beat this financially because right now, most of us are getting kicked while we're down. The way we're going to beat it is changing our mind frame, how we see gaming, okay? You don't need the latest and greatest. You don't need 240 FPS playing Call of Duty to get the edge. You don't need to run Baldur's Gate 3 at 120 FPS if you're still running a 3050. And if a game you really want to play comes out and it says your computer's out of spec, first of all, that sucks. And it has happened to me a lot. Well, when I was younger. Don't look at the newest chipset. Look at the minimum requirements. See how much it's going to cost you. Maybe you could find something in your local area. Someone's selling it for a computer for $300, an AM4 socket set, right? And that's not being a defeatist. That's being realistic, right? It is utterly unfair that I bought my current RAM chipset for $160 and now it's worth $700. That is ridiculous. And that was 1 year ago. That is entirely and utterly unfair. Start looking into making a ROM machine. It's not that hard, I promise you. There's a lot of things now where they do the work for you. I have a recall box in my living room, a little Raspberry Pi, where I have all the game. I could never beat all the games on that thing, right? But if retro gaming is not your style, we still got things like Hades 2 out, a masterpiece of a game. Requirements, very low. Games like RimWorld, games like Kenshi, games like Dispatch. And if indie games aren't your style, think of how many AAA games have come out in the last 5 years that you have not even tried. We don't gotta keep consuming the latest and greatest, guys. We really don't. We can take a step back and say, you know what? Keep it. Shove it. I don't need it. I'm gonna go back here and do my thing. When you guys start making sense again, maybe I'll come back, right? Because it's gonna come back at some point. See, and I don't want to get to the AI stuff too much, but the AI, it will start to form a bubble that will pop at some point, which will cause prices to crash. Unfortunately, I don't see that being anytime soon, though. So think outside the box. Stop chasing what they want you to chase. You don't need the latest and greatest. You don't need DDR5, 64 gigabytes of RAM. You don't. You may want it, but you don't need it. Invite some friends over. If you don't got any friends, play something you haven't. Again, everything I just listed. You know, whether it's AAA, an indie game, or just some cult classic. Ignore the streamers, the influencers who are telling you, oh, hey, you need this, that, and this. You need to be playing this. You need to be doing that. Take a chill pill. We forgot what gaming was for, right? It's escapism. And now more than ever, we need escapism. So maybe now's the time to think outside the box and explore other genres you haven't tried before. Maybe you'll surprise yourself. If you aren't a JRPG person, maybe you'll try Final Fantasy VII and love it. Right now it's easier than ever to try new things in that regard, right? Because of the internet, how accessible everything is. Hey, I get it. Even some of this retro stuff now is expensive beyond belief. A Dreamcast, I think a Dreamcast costs about $120. But Power Stone 2 I see for sale for $100 plus. Again, build an emulator. It's pretty freaking easy. It's not that hard. Put your effort into something else. Invite some friends over, and guess what? You'll have a blast. Because let's be serious anyways. Gaming requirements have been getting bloated for the last few years. I'll run my 3090, and sometimes I'll play a brand new game that comes out, and it lags. There's no reason on medium settings on 3090 in a game. I think Dragon Age Inquisition did that to me. They are so lazy with the optimization that it hardly matters. You can have the latest and greatest and you're still lagging for some reason. Screw them. Let's just get the corporatism out of our hobby. It's a hobby a lot of us find dear, hold dear to our heart. And let's keep it simple. Let's get it simple again. If I can't run the newest Cyberpunk coming out on ray tracing, so what? It's not the end of the world. It'll be fine. So guys, I'm going to end the video here. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you've played any of the games I've mentioned in this video, let me know. I'm truly curious. Anyways, guys, I want you to take care until the next time. Later days.